contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
We are in Aragon in Spain, round 3 of 7. This is a terrific start as Kalen Chin has a big problem.
Oh, he just went onto the curb there, got launched into the air. That was almost like IndyCar style when they had underground underbody aerodynamics as well. That was a real wake-up call, and unfortunately for Kalen, he's lost a huge amount of positions.
6 positions indeed it was, and contact there as well on the back there of Martin Stefanko. So Chin, who was fastest in pole, stay out of trouble, says Alex Young. Should have listened to him. Axel is P13 at the moment, 10-year-old who's getting tons of support on our Facebook pages.
Oh.
Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes jumps off White. Anton is also going through. I think in fact it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Akib Aslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib may one time should actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen's pitted as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are off to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner.
Oh.
And Inigo Anton.
He's going to win his first race.
We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Championship is.
E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We've made a great start on e-racing.
It allows people in the real-life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really, really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In race room, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
We are in Aragon in Spain, round 3 of 7. This is a terrific start as Kalen Chin has a big problem.
Oh, he just went onto the curb there, got launched into the air. That was almost like IndyCar style when they had underground underbody aerodynamics as well. That was a real wake-up call, and unfortunately for Kalen, he's lost a huge amount of positions.
6 positions indeed it was, and contact there as well on the back there of Martin Stefanko. So Chin, who was fastest in pole, stay out of trouble, says Alex Young. Should have listened to him. Axel is P13 at the moment, 10-year-old who's getting tons of support on our Facebook pages. Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Akif Aslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Akif might want to actually take his elbows out here. Spanky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Akif somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen has been there as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are off to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner. And Inigo Anton
He's going to win his first race. We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Championship is.
E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We've made a great start on e-racing.
It allows people in the real-life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on an even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really, really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In race room, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
We are in Aragon in Spain, round 3 of 7. This is a terrific start as Kalen Chin has a big problem.
Oh, he just went onto the curb there, got launched into the air. That was almost like IndyCar style where they had underground underbody aerodynamics as well. That was a real wake-up call, and unfortunately for Kalen, he's lost a huge amount of positions.
6 positions indeed it was, and contact there as well on the back there of Martin Stefanko. So Chin, who was fastest in pole, stay out of trouble, says Alex Young. Should have listened to him. Axel is P13 at the moment, 10-year-old who's getting tons of support on our Facebook pages. Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to fourth place.
Akib Aslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Akib might want to actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Akib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen's pitted as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are up to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner.
Oh.
And Inigo Anton.
He's going to win his first race.
We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Championship is.
E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We've made a great start on e-racing.
It allows people in the real-life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really, really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In race room, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
We are in Aragon in Spain, round 3 of 7. This is a terrific start as Kalen Chin has a big problem.
Oh, he just went onto the curb there, got launched into the air. That was almost like IndyCar style where they had underground underbody aerodynamics as well. That was a real wake-up call, and unfortunately for Kalen, he's lost a huge amount of positions.
6 positions indeed it was, and contact there as well on the back there of Martin Stefanko. So Chin, who was fastest in pole, stay out of trouble, says Alex Young. Should have listened to him. Axel is P13 at the moment, 10-year-old who's getting tons of support on our Facebook pages.
Oh.
Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to fourth place.
Akib Aslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Akib might want to actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Akib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen's pitted as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Benz is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are off to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner. And Inigo Anton
He's going to win his first race.
We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Championship is.
E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We've made a great start on e-racing.
It allows people in the real-life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really, really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In race room, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
We are in Aragon in Spain, round 3 of 7. This is a terrific start as Kalen Chin has a big problem.
Oh, he just went onto the curb there, got launched into the air. That was almost like IndyCar style when they had underground underbody aerodynamics as well. That was a real wake-up call, and unfortunately for Kalen, he's lost a huge amount of positions.
6 positions indeed it was, and contact there as well on the back there of Martin Stefanko. So Chin, who was fastest in pole, stay out of trouble, says Alex Young. Should have listened to him. Axel is P13 at the moment, 10-year-old who's getting tons of support on our Facebook pages. Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure, so that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes jumps off White. Anton is also going through. I think in fact it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap, and Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Akib Aslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Akib playing one tap should actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Akib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen has been as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Benz is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are up to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner. And Inigo Anton is going to win his first race.
We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Championship is.
E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We've made a great start on e-racing.
It allows people in the real-life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on an even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really, really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In race room, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
We are in Aragon in Spain, round 3 of 7. This is a terrific start as Kalen Chin has a big problem.
Oh, he just went onto the curb there, got launched into the air. That was almost like IndyCar style when they had underground underbody aerodynamics as well. That was a real wake-up call, and unfortunately for Kalen, he's lost a huge amount of positions.
6 positions indeed it was, and contact there as well on the back there of Martin Stefanko. So Chin, who was fastest in pole, stay out of trouble, says Alex Young. Should have listened to him. Axel is P13 at the moment, 10-year-old who's getting tons of support on our Facebook pages. Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes jumps off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Vaslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib might want to actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen has been there as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the game. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are up to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner. And Inigo Anton is going to win his first race.
We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Championship is.
E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We've made a great start on e-racing.
It allows people in the real-life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In race room, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
We are in Aragon, in Spain, round 3 of 7. This is a terrific start as Kalen Chin has a big problem.
Oh, he just went onto the curb there, got launched into the air. That was almost like IndyCar style when they had underground underbody aerodynamics as well. That was a real wake-up call, and unfortunately for Kalen, he's lost a huge amount of positions.
6 positions indeed it was, and contact there as well on the back there of Martin Stefenko. So Chin, who was fastest in pole, stay out of trouble, says Alex Young. Should have listened to him. Axel is P13 at the moment, 10-year-old who's getting tons of support on our Facebook pages.
Oh.
Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes jumps off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Baslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib may want to actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen has been as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are off to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner.
Oh.
And Inigo Anton.
He's going to win his first race.
We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Championship is.
E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We've made a great start on e-racing.
It allows people in the real-life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In race room, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
Welcome to the E1 Championship 2022. This is round 6, the penultimate round. My name is Adam Carruthers. I'm alongside the race director himself, Alex Young. Now, this entire thing is organized by Axel Sports, EGG and Astro, and it's supported by MAM, that's the Motorsports Association of Malaysia, and also Race Room. We are live, by the way, on Arena plus Suka, and we're also broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook, and it's the easiest thing to look up, E1 Championship, making it simple to share with all your friends and family members. We're also broadcasting in Singapore via Mio Sports 2, in Vietnam on VTV Cab, Thailand on True Gaming Up, and in Indonesia via TVRI Sport. Now, we'll be on camera, but as you're watching the race, you'll hear the beautiful voices of Des Corkill and Amir Hazik, aka Ammo, on your screen right now. By the way, I have to point out what we have directly in front of us, Alex and myself.
Yeah.
It's this beautiful, stunning trophy.
Yeah.
It's heavy, it's heavy.
It's heavy. I tried to carry it just now. It's a good 7-8 kilos. So it's going to look great on someone's mantelpiece.
Yeah, more than one person, as a matter of fact, because I believe the top 3 drivers at the end of the season, of course not from today, will get it, plus the winning team will have it. So they'll have to decide where to put it in their team trophy room, I guess, wherever it might be. Now, this is the penultimate round. We spent a few weeks in Europe. Last round was in Silverstone over in the UK. If you missed out on what happened in a thrilling race day, here are the highlights.
We are on board here with Kalen Chin, and who's that?
That might be Dafa Adiansa. It is Adiansa who's actually been hit there by Kalen. So luckily no damage for either both of those drivers, but that would have been a good wake-up call for the Indonesian.
Another of your friends, he's one place down on him and is actually under pressure from Mihai Neg in this the battle for the final point in P15, and Mihai Neg spins off almost as if our camera went onto him and added too much weight to his car. We're trying to rescue it as Kalen Chin and Stefanko is really making a lot of moves to try to get ahead of Kalen Chin. This is a cracking battle. Look at the concentration of Martin Stefanko down left of your screen.
And look at that, around the outside, he's going to go through snow. That is a good move there. He did kind of like a Nigel Mansell. They're selling Kalen short on the inside and goes right the outside, swooping in, but Kalen will fight back and he will have the DRS next standby.
In the early stages, as Dan Finney is pushed outwards. Welcome to the E1 Championship, Mr. Finney. Okay, so Nabil is in P2 and Nakib goes around the outside of Nabil. Is he able to make it stick? Yes, Nakib overtakes his brother, and then Stefanko goes through on the inside as well. Is Nabil able to hold on? No, Stefanko does really well, but that's cheeky from Nabil, from Nakib Aslan, and poor old Nabil is left looking, well, 2 cars in front of him that were behind him. We're on board with Anton as he tries to claim that place back from Ibrahim. These two going wheel to wheel, side by side, and look at this, Russell Reyes comes into it, the JMX Phantom racer, and Kalen Chin goes past Inigo, who won 2 places, lost 2 places, and finds himself back in P10.
Oh, this is the sort of racing I was anticipating. That's what this car is giving, but Kalen spun it around. Kalen has spun it out of club, and he has lost again. 4 positions out of that.
That's the battle that we're seeing. Keith Lee and Nabil Aslan, they're 1 and 2. We're on board with Dafa Ardians. Oh, Dafa! Oh, spins out and spins out of an almost certain podium. Nabil Aslan would go on and take that victory, and for Nabil it was a 33-point weekend. Russell Reyes for JMX Phantom had his best weekend with a 34-point haul, including a P3 and a fastest lap in race number 1. But Mohammed Ibrahim was the man who made the biggest impact into the overall standings.
Speaking of overall standings, this is what has changed because of that. Well, nothing much apart from the fact that it's much closer between 2nd, 3rd and 4th, with Ban Spanky, despite having struggles in that round, is still quite a ways ahead of 2nd place man Martin Stefanko. But we have to take into account the fact that drop points are applied now.
Yeah, drop points. It's an Alex Young initiative. You take away the worst score of your season, and that makes this title race absolutely fabulous. Banky still leads, but only by 29 points from joint second Stefanko and Mohamed Ibrahim. Jack Keithley just a point down on fourth, and you cannot write off Mohamed Tazbeh either, who's in really good form, or even Nabil Aslan. So I reckon we've got 6 genuine contenders for the title with 4 races still to go this season.
Absolutely, it's squeaky bum time for a lot of these guys, and they are gonna go for it. As in terms of the team's championship, Mumbai Falcons, with the heroics of Ibrahim and with Banky's consistency, have allowed them to actually stretch ahead of Williams Esport, and they have actually outscored them in that last round as well. So look out for those 2 teams to actually go head-to-head in the final 2 rounds.
Many thanks there to Des and Ammo. Alex, you need to highlight Mohamed Ibrahim a bit, because I'm not going to say he's done badly in previous rounds. I think he was just been desperately unlucky. He needed the rub of the green, and he got it last week. Superb racing. It's not just luck.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been quick all season, but he put it together as well. There was no luck involved in the last round. He just drove really well. And 44 points in the last round. He's put himself back into the hunt of the championship. He's equal second place, you know. And, okay, there's a bit of a gap up to his teammate, 29 points. But it is recoverable. There are 4 more races to go and 2 more qualifying sessions to go. You get points for all these things. And, yeah, Ibrahim's not out of it. And if he has another good day today, he could be right in the fight.
Even down to fastest laps, let's not forget. We'll break down the points later on. I want to get through all of the drivers, the profiles for today with Des and Ammo. Talk us through, please.
Yeah, we start off with the last season's defending champions, Flash. They are made up of Inigo Anton, the teenager from the Philippines, and Mohamed Tazbeh, the 20-year-old from Singapore, who's in great nick and is an outside chance for the title.
And on the opposite end of the spectrum, Josh Perwin, who ran out of fuel last time out, he raced in Donington Park, is making a return this time for the Black Cards racing team from Hong Kong. He's alongside Kaylin Chin, who had a promising round, but still ways away from the top of the table.
Team Safehouse from Korea, they are made up of Mikko Nasi, the veteran from Finland, based out of Singapore, and Jim Masvilton, the Singaporean, based out of Singapore.
Next up is the Malaysian team, and it has the most consistent driver lineup towards the entire season. Nabil Aslan and Nakib Aslan. Nabil, of course, taking his first win last time out in Silverstone. Emphatically, would like to have more. Likewise, his brother would like to add more to his tally.
88 is meant to be lucky. It's not been for Apex E-Racing's Brunei Lancelot. The 38-year-old has struggled this season, as has Ben Sieg. They'll want to get their best performance of the season today.
And speaking of best performances, Mohamed Zikri as well, the ERGP champion of Season 8, the bronze class champion, would like to actually get more points on the board after struggling somewhat throughout the entire season. Alongside him, Julian Kunze, who has been incognito for the last few rounds.
We're going continental with virtual drivers TX3, French-based team, Romanian and Swedish racers. Mihai Neg, the best of the performers so far for the TX3 team.
And the team that's looking like champion-elect at the moment, but don't count your chickens just yet. Mumbai Falcons leading the way in the team's championship and the drivers' championship with Benz Banky and defending champion Mohamed Ibrahim. They'll be ones to watch out for here as well, as usual.
You're not allowed favourites as a commentator, but I've got favourites, and it's the JMX Phantom team from Indonesia. Daffy Ardianta threw away a P3 last week. Russell Reyes picked up a P3 and has been my driver of the season.
Hailing from the UK, from Grove to be exact, a real-world team as well from Formula 1, Williams Esports, alongside their drivers in their stable, Jack Keithley and Martin Stefanko, who are looking like championship contenders as well for this season.
And for EGG Network, Dan Finney comes on for his second race of the season. He was given a rude awakening to the qualities of the E1 Championship. And the housewives' favourite, Alex Knockon, whereas number 15, the 10-year-old, will be a superstar one day.
Thanks once again to Des and Ammo. And Alex, I need to bring this up because I remember the early days of this season in Sepang, and Williams blew everyone away. They won that in terms of team total by over 30 points. Now, since then, Mumbai has clawed it back, gone top. It's been much narrower, yes, but I'm not sure if I'm disappointed in Williams or Mumbai have just been so impressive, consistent.
Mumbai have been very impressive. They deserve to be at the top right now. You know, the last 2 rounds, Bianchi at Donington and Ibrahim at Silverstone, the last round, they were just outstanding. And they worked together very well. Bianchi and Ibrahim working well together, pushing each other. They're always right at the front. But you have to say Williams will be a bit disappointed. I think they've also been a little bit unlucky because they've had a couple drive-throughs for speeding the pit lane, which has taken points away from Stefanko. Otherwise, Stefanko would be a lot closer to Bianchi in the championship.
Okay, well, speaking of the race itself, if you've never watched the E1 Championship, every race day is broken up into 3 separate events. Points available. Let's go through the format. Alex,
Yep, absolutely. Got qualifying to start it off, 10-minute qualifying, followed by race 1 and race 2. You get points in qualifying for the top 5, and in race 1 and race 2, equal points. Race 1 is 15 minutes, and race 2 is 30 minutes. A longer race, but the top 10 are reversed. So race 2 obviously often has some really exciting racing, some interesting strategies. You also pick up 2 points, additional points, for fastest lap in each race.
Des showed the table, dropped points, points accumulation. How does that work?
Yeah, so obviously it's an online championship, so we always allow drop points in this championship. And you have to drop the lowest scores between rounds 1 and 6. And that's really because as an online championship, sometimes drivers get disconnected through no fault of their own. So at least if that happens once, they can throw away that round and still be in the hunt for the championship.
Okay, as for where we are today in the car and all the other details, passing it back to Des and Amo.
Today we take you to Sao Paulo in Brazil, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, better known as the Interlagos Circuit. It's been a circuit since the 1940s. This is the 4th current iteration of this track, and it's just 4.3 kilometers long, but plenty of straights to play with.
And certainly has plenty of straights to play with for the car that we have for the entire season, the Formula Race Room X22, 1.6 litre V6 turbo hybrid engine. They will use a lot of that on that back straight on the way to the start-finish line. 1,050 horsepower and weighing almost as much as a proverbial shoe, 769 kilos, even though the real cars are actually gaining weight over the last few years. Back to you, Adam.
Okay, thank you very much. As for the money, as for why the drivers are competing in the first place, there's a lot on offer, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, 5,000 USD for first place. That's the one everyone's gunning for. But there is prize money all the way down to 10th, which is different for this season. And yeah, so that works out quite well. More drivers get a share of the prize pool. And there's a teams championship as well. Teams championship is only down to the top 5 teams, but still 3,000 for first, 2,000 for second, and 1,000 for third as well. So there's still some useful prize money there. And the total prize pool, USD 20,000.
Now, when it comes to the tracks itself, there tends to be a bit of limited time to test it out because it's done by a lucky draw. So the drivers have had a full week now to practice Interlagos and all of that. But what can we expect from this track specifically? Because we've had a large variety this season.
Yeah, okay, so it is, you know, it's a short track, 4.3 kilometers, but there is a long straight down the start-finish straight, and of course a long drag down turn 4, so overtaking is possible. DRS, how you use the energy is going to be very crucial when you do the races. And of course, this is our last open setup round, so the drivers and teams can play around with the setup. So that often means sometimes teams find something special. The last open setup round, we saw Kalen Chin almost take his first win for the season. Maybe he'll be strong today as well.
Amo, I got to ask this as well because it's the penultimate race. I mean, it's almost at the stage where it's do or die for those that are really competing either individually or for the team. Can we expect a bit more adventurous driving, to put it politely?
Yeah, we can safely say a bit of edgy driving as well, I can say, Adam, because as I said earlier, this is squeaky bum time, the last 2 rounds, and this is the final round where they can actually get all the points locked in before they put the drop scores and then go for the finale where they can go really all out. So really then, if the drivers were at the somewhat of a back foot coming to this round, they needed to get back out their games now, otherwise they will be chasing shadows in that final round, Adam.
Yeah, and Des, I know you love that. I know you love a little bit of drama and excitement. I'm sure you're going to get it today in Brazil, bearing in mind how late we are in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact it's so close in the championship as well means that mistakes really do cost you dearly at this moment in time. It might give 1 or 2 new names a chance to come through. We saw Daffy Ardianza last week and the JMX Phantom boys coming through. Kalen Chin deserves just a little bit of luck. I've got to say, he's had a dreadfully unfortunate season. So I think we might get 1 or 2 new campaigners coming in because the boys at the top are going to be just that little bit conservative.
10 minutes for qualifying. It starts in less than 1 minute. So fully passing over the mic to Des and Amo.
Thank you very much. Yes, interestingly, that Mohammed Ibrahim is the fastest out on practice. And I saw Nabil and Naki Baslan haven't put a practice time out yet, so they haven't really been showing what they've got today. What do we expect of Sem 9? Because at one stage earlier on in the season, Sem 9 looked like they were going to make a charge towards the top.
Absolutely, and we saw in previous fixed setup rounds, they were good. But now we're coming to a race where it's open setup, so we might see them struggle a bit. But having said that, we have pulled off some great results in the past few rounds, so we don't really want to discount them or anyone else out just yet, Des.
Okay, we are underway in qualification. It is a 10-minute qualifier. The championship leader, we've really got to go with the championship leader as My Ugly Mug and Amo's Mug come up. We will be talking you through the races today. There's 2 races, but we start with qualification. Ben Spanky, do you want to be in the championship lead with 4 races still to go, or would you rather be a challenger without that target on your back?
Yeah, that's quite a tough question, Des. If I'm honest, I think if you have a big lead like what Banky has right now, he'll take the 15 kilo ballast as success ballast to take long into the rounds and struggle a bit, but knowing the fact that he is consistent. In fact, last time out, he qualified 7th, finished in the top 10 in both occasions, 5th and 6th. So he's willing to take the points, even if it means he's not going to take any more race wins this season there. So if I were him right now, I'll just drive conservatively and do not want to actually get into some of the shenanigans further behind.
Or does he throw this round away if he doesn't have a good qualification? Because his worst score at the moment is 21 points. Does he actually say, I'll get less than 21 and I increase my overall points tally? Is that a strategy?
That's another point, because he did score 21 points last time out, which is actually quite a low score anyway. So he doesn't want to do 2 bad rounds and in the end ends up spoiling his entire championship run. So really then, he just wants to get whatever happens Silverstone out of his system and really just perform well here in Interlagos.
Okay, right, enough of the potentials. Mohammed Tasbi is a racer from Team Flash, the defending team champions, who's really impressed. Let's just have a go through a flying lap perhaps with Tasbi. Nobody's really set a time now. Tasbi is out there at the moment and he is on the start of his flying lap. Can you talk us around Interlagos?
Yeah, here we go now through the center S's, and he is now just going to go full throttle. In fact, they're already up to 7th gear, coming up to the Reta Aposta, which is literally mean the back straight, coming up to the Desierto del Lago. And there's a lot of hidden meanings behind some of these names, but we'll go through it later. Desierto del Lago literally means the lake descent because it's between the 2 lakes on the circuit. Then coming up to Ferradura, which is literally meaning the horseshoe into turn 6 and 7. Hard on the brakes there, you're using a lot of curb on the outside because you want to make the entry much wider into turn 8, then descending to Pineirinho, which literally means Christmas tree. Then up to another staple of the Interlagos circuit where it's another prime overtaking spot, but you really have to make it count because Lewis Hamilton and Alex Albon will definitely not agree to that. Rubigo de Pato, then Megrulo, the drop all the way up to Junsao, and again, this is another crucial corner of the circuit where they need to get the exit just about right because they don't have any other slow corners to come up to gain the lap, because this is a straight shot all the way to the start finish line. 8th gear, 320 kilometers per hour, and he sets the time now across the timing beam in P6 outside of the points position. Des.
P6, he is outside. Mohammed Ibrahim is the fastest in the early stages. Kalen Chin, he's posted a very decent time, and I did mention Kalen for the Black Arts Racing team. He's had some cruel luck in the last 3 rounds, and he's looking pretty happy and smiley there. Kalen, let's well, he's on an outlap just at the moment. Let's see who else is really worth a look at. Martin Stefanko, he's a 1:8:05 P5 just at the moment. The Williams Esports man, he's 2nd in the championship standings, joint 2nd.
Yep, and in fact, this is the round where he really will start to think maybe he can make us some points on Banky, because he still has to carry a lot of success battles, and plus with the success battles he had last time out in Silverstone, he really struggled. So Stefanko will be rating his chances, but having said that, he also has 12 kilos of ballast to carry around himself.
P5 at the moment, not on a flying lap at the moment. Let's just look at 1 or 2. Oh, he is on a flying lap. He is, sorry, he's just started his flying lap, Martin Stefanko. So let's just stick with him. Let's see how quickly he can go. P5 is his position as we speak for the Williams.
Yep, and for Williams, they have a bit of a special connection to the Interlagos circuit, not least the fact that it was the very final team that Edson Senna drove for in that tragic season, because if you say in '94. So if they could do that particular incident justice, they could probably just try to whack it onto pole position here. But for the time being, Stefanko 2/10 off Mohamed Ibrahim, who really has come out guns blazing the last couple of rounds.
Absolutely, Mohamed Ibrahim is leading the way by quite some way. Well, 300ths ahead of Caelan Chin, but they're a full 10th clear of Jack Keithley. They're lapping 1:08, mid 1:08, so it's a very shortish lap. He's still 1/10 down, but he did make up just a little bit of time in the second sector, did Stefanko.
Indeed, we're watching also behind him his teammate Jack Keithley. So Keithley is on a flyer as well. He's only about a couple of hundreds off as well. So he is following his teammate, and he might get the benefit of the slipstream. Remember, Silverstone, that is actually slipstream territory, and Stefanko benefited from that. This time he's giving his teammate the toe. He goes fourth. Where's Keithley? Third.
Keithley goes top. Wow. Keithley into the pits, but a time of 1:08.507. That is terrific. Naqib Aslan is out on the circuit. Naqib.
Ibrahim's gone fastest by nearly 200s as well, so the times are chopping and changing at the moment, and this might just be the final run, because apparently 2 laps around here is not enough to actually chew through the tires, so they can just be a bit bullish and go for it.
All right, Caelan Chin is the man in P3. Who are we looking at who might be able to make a move? Inigo Anton, well, no, he's in the pits at the moment. Axel Knockom for the team EGG, the youngster. He's 3/10ths down early on, so Axel is finding the professional quality very, very difficult to stick close to. How about our friends from Brunei? Ben Seek, he's struggling. He's posted a 1:11.876. He's miles off the pace.
Yeah, it's a bit of a learning process as well, as the fact that these guys have been together for the last 5 seasons. Here's Ben now on screen. Yep, taking it gingerly because it is his outlap after all.
Okay, we need to move on to Ben Spanky, because Ben Spanky is the championship leader. And the Slovak is in 6th place, so out of the points as we speak. But he is now on a flying lap. There's only 3.5 minutes left. He's got Mihai Neg for company. Neg looking for a little bit of a pull, but Banki for the Mumbai Falcons, the teammate of Mohamed Ibrahim, who is on pole. Ibrahim says it's a team game, but I think neither Banki nor Ibrahim would think for a second, if they had a chance to win or get fastest, that they would stop. He's only 900ths down. Okay, we are in pole position kind of territory for Banki. Depends how tight his second and third sectors are.
But look at how close between first and third are, about 800s by 900s, as he has to avoid that. Oh, he couldn't avoid that in time, and that will just send him back to the pits. He might have enough time to get back on track. No, he has to rush. He has to rush now, because that was so unfortunate. I think that was Lance Lau that was involved with him.
Certainly is. He's got to do an outlap, and then he's got to do his lap back. So Ben Spanky is under pressure. Caelan Chin is the man that we've got our eyes on at the moment. Caelan 700ths down at the end of sector 1, currently in P3. Is it time for Caelan Chin to really make his move? And he could be a real spoiler when it comes to the championship itself.
Well, remember Caelan in the last couple of seasons, he always has that kind of late season charge, so he might just want to do that now. But having said that, he goes up at Bigo de Pato. Ibrahim goes much faster, almost a 10th up now on Jack Keithley.
So Ibrahim is increases his second. Ooh, now then, Caelan Chin has given up that lap. Banki 1:08.722. There's still 2 minutes left of qualifications. So remember when we used to have 5-minute qualifications in previous seasons? That was a real panic. They've just got a little time. You can make a mistake just at the moment.
Yep, a bit of leg room now they can do actually, so they can afford to have something like what happened to Banki just now, that he ran into a back marker that was spinning and he couldn't avoid, so at least he gets a bit of a reprieve by being able to continue on and do another lap, as so is Keithley as well, as we're on board with him.
Yeah, Keithley is on sector 1. Let's see how close he can get to Ibrahim. At the moment, the differential is, well, it's 1/10 of a second, and he's only 500ths down. Jack Keithley, the boy from Ipswich. It's luckily there haven't been any technical problems or internet control problems as he comes around the very windy corner 6, 7, 8, and 9. It's a very intricate part of the course, is this Amo Hazik, and you've just got to get your exits so accurately.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dichotomy actually, because there's two parts to the circuit. One is the long start-finish straight.
Oh, he's fastest.
Yep, and he's going fastest, start-finish straight, and he has to get it nailed in between the slow sections. It looks as though the Williams car is primed through the slow section, and that's why he's fastest in that second sector, Des.
Okay, the third sector is the key. Timer after is 1:08.435. Fastest, and a little punch in the air. That means that Banky is the one we really need to keep an eye on. Will he have enough time? No, Banky will not be able to break into the top periods. So Jack Keithley takes P1 ahead of Mohammed Ibrahim. He left it late, Keithley. Daffy Ardiansa in P3. Another good performance by Daffy for JMX. Kalen Chin drops down to P4, and Stefanko picks up a P5. They are the 5-point scorers. Tasbi, Banky, Nakib, Reyes, and Nabil completing the top 10. Further down, Axel Knockom in the top 15. Ben Seek and Lancelot bottom of the whole pile.
Thank you very much there, Des and Amo, and oh, you have to feel for Ben Bianchi again.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I don't think Ben's put it together though, but I mean, how exciting for that front row, you know? With Guy and Jack Keithley in 4th, and Ibrahim 3rd in the championship right now. It's so close. Look at that, 600ths or 6,000ths of a second. That's how close it was.
We have to give credit though, Jack Keithley. I honestly thought that it was Mohammed Ibrahim's from the start, but then suddenly Jack posting the 3 fastest sectors, he takes it. Pole.
Yeah. So yeah, it's set up really nicely. I mean, the guys in 3rd and 4th, like I said, on the front row, it's going to be so close indeed. And the guys in 1st and 2nd in the championship down in 5th and 6th. So 5th and 7th, shall I say. So they're not, it's going to be a very thoughtful first race, you know.
What do you mean by thoughtful?
You can't be too aggressive with the first race because you're fighting for the championship right now. And it's okay, yes, Bianchi has a little bit of leeway here, so maybe he can be a bit aggressive on the start, because if he has to drop points from this round, say he doesn't score many points, he'll still probably be leading the championship. But the guys 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, if one of them has a bad race in race 1 today, that could be their championship done. You know, because right now the 3 of them still have a chance to fight for the championship, I feel. But the pressure is really high because, you know, only one of them can win at the moment. So let's talk to Ibrahim right now. Yeah. I mean, Ibrahim, you know, 2nd position in the championship. Sorry, 2nd position in qualifying just now. That was super close. Was there anything left on the table?
I mean, second time got a bit of tough. Last lap, the last sector. So
sorry, could you pull your mic a bit closer to your face? Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, I had got a bit of traffic in the last sector of my lap, so I lost a bit of time there.
Overall, you must be quite happy though. It looked like a pretty solid performance. I know traffic held you up a bit though.
Yeah, I'm alhamdulillah really happy with the performance, and hopefully I can get the win or finish on the podium.
So, obviously it's pressure time. You're running out of races to get points. Do you have to win the race today? This race 1?
It's only God knows, you know. I just leave everything to God and hope for the best.
Okay. Best of luck later on, okay?
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Since last week, his tone seems to have shifted to be more about the team rather than the individual. He thanked his team, Mumbai Falcons, I think 3 times in our interview with him.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he needs his team. I mean, they worked well together, but it's all about it's going to be by himself. Bianchi's too far back at the moment. He's in P7, so Ibrahim just needs to get a really good start. But he has to get a start over the guy in pole position. That's who we have on the line right now. And Keith, I mean, Jack, pole position. What a great lap.
Don't call me Keith again.
Keith.
You know what? I didn't think it was a great lap until the last corner. I was exactly on my delta. I was level with my lap time. I did not expect that whatsoever. I was thinking I could get into P2 here. But then I saw the delta was going 7, 8, 9. I was like... So, to get P1, you know, I'm really, really ecstatic. But that's a quarter of the job done. See how the race goes.
We just spoke to Mohammed Ibrahim, and we're going to ask him, we asked him a question about the championship itself for the individual and the team. Got to ask you, is it in the back of your mind? Because you need the points and time is running out. There's today and then one more race day and it's done.
Of course, absolutely. I don't want to think about it too much because then it will probably distract me from driving. I just want to do my job and just see where the cards fall at the end and just do the best. Got a very good car. Me and my work and the engineer worked very hard on it. So looking forward to the race ahead, and hopefully Martin progresses as well from 6th.
Okay.
All right, Jack, don't call him Keithley. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
We'll speak to you later on, perhaps. And
How dare you?
well, distraction. Can it be a distraction?
Well, I think for Jack it is. Yeah, but it also, I mean, for anyone, you want to just be thinking one lap ahead, one lap at a time, one corner at a time. You don't want to be thinking about the championship. I mean,
It doesn't affect your strategy, your planning?
No, I think he has to be aggressive. He can't be too, getting to the end of the championship right now, and you want to try and make up points on Bianchi, so you need to go for the win. So I think between Keith and Ibrahim, it's going to be very tasty.
You called him Keith again.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go for a quick commercial break. We've done the qualifying, so now we are all set for race 1, the sprint race. It's coming up next. Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are up to a start. Jack Keithley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. Support on our Facebook pages. Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure, so that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap, and Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Baslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib playing one tap should actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen has been as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and look at that. The gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows how can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are up to a start. Jack Keithley gets the victory, punches the air in delight.
Welcome back to the E1 Championship 2022. This is round 6. My name's Adam Carruthers and I'm alongside the race director Alex Young. It's organised by Axel Sports, EGG and Astro, supported by MAM, the Motorsports Association of Malaysia, and Race Room. We are live on Arena Plus Suka. And we're also broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook. All you have to do is look up E1 Championship. We're also broadcasting in Singapore via Mio Sports 2, in Vietnam on VTV Cab, Thailand on True Gaming Up, and in Indonesia via TVRI Sport. And it's less than 2 minutes till we have race 1. So before that, let's have a little recap of what happened during qualifying with Des and Amo.
And a brand new name at the top of the leaderboard, Keith Jackley. Oh no, it's Jack Keithley from Williams Esports. He was fastest. He left it very, very late, and he was only 4,000th quicker than Mohammed Ibrahim. So Williams and Mumbai Falcons going really big for it. But Dafa Ardiansa and Kalen Chin, Amo Hazik, they're in the mix as well.
Absolutely. In fact, Dafa himself could have been on pole. He was only 600ths off at when he crossed the line, so it could have been another new name to add to the pole sitters. But that was the closest 1-3 I think we've had in qualifying this year. So watch out. The race is going to be very intense, Des.
We should also note all of them will pick up points as well. Every point is crucial as we head into the final couple of races for us to enjoy. Quick prediction, Alex, here.
Oof. Start's going to be very important. Williams have not had great starts this year, so Ibrahim will be quick off the line, but so will Dafa. So be interesting to see what happens in the start, and then, but we can see overtaking here as well. So
okay, let's pass it back over to Des and Amo.
Okay, yeah, we're just going to have a little bit of a warm-up before the actual start itself. Ibrahim, I think he's the man we all expect to actually shine out of this. The best that we've got, I mean, he's defending champion, of course. Does he have the mental strength to hold off the likes of Keithley and the likes of Stefanko and the likes of Benke?
And of course, that question is also can be answered by the fact that he does have the mental fortitude. He has shown that, and remember in Silverstone how he had to fend off 5 or 6 cars right behind him for a lot of the race. So yes, mentally he is strong. He can actually hold in the race. Championship-wise, he has done so as well. He has actually managed to fend off very fast iRacing specialists last season, so he'll be looking to do the same thing here, Des.
Okay, let's see if our prediction is correct. We are at the Interlagos Circuit. Des Corkill alongside Amo Hazik. Amo with the expert analysis, and I promise you some great details about this fabulous circuit. We're on race room. It is round 6 of 7 of the E1 Championship 2022, and we are so tight at the top of the overall standings. Ben Spanky is the championship leader, but he is only on the 4th row of the grid. We are ready. Red lights going off, and we will be underway. 15-minute sprint race. We're on board here with Jack Keithley, and Keithley is beaten to the punch by Ibrahim. What a superstar that is by Ibrahim. The Mumbai Falcon flying off the line, Amo.
Oh, once again, look at that. As Alex said it, Williams have not had best of starts this year, and once again, Keithley's actually been jumped on the line, but he is actually much closer to Ibrahim here. He could try to attack coming to Desira del Lago, but no way through just yet, as the rest of the field then, all 21 cars have made it through safely, and there was no incident to report.
I can tell you Daffy Ardiansa had a difficult time. Daffy, who was in P3, he dropped down to P8 as Keithley looks on the inside, and that's a brave maneuver. Kalen Chin tries to take advantage. Keithley aggressive onto the back of Ibrahim. Ibrahim drops down to P5 behind Mohammed Tasbi, and will be absolutely fuming at that aggression from the Englishman.
That's the second time in 3 rounds that Keithley and Ibrahim have actually been involved in an incident. And remember that time in Donington, he was sent around and he lost his front wing. Keithley and Ibrahim collide again. This is not going to go well, especially in the debriefs after this.
My word, that is real aggression from Jack Keithley out of Ipswich, and Kalen Chin is the man who's not far behind him. Kalen Chin, as we have a look there at the potential contact between Keithley and Kalen Chin, and that might allow Naki Baslan to sneak through.
Wow, Nakib out of nowhere there. He had a brilliant start off the line to actually get up into that top 5. Now he's challenging. Look, he's got DRS. He tries to come out to the Keithley through the Desira del Lago, but no. He held the inside line there, Jack, and he holds on to the lead just for the time being.
I need to take you down to P18. Mohammed Ibrahim, P18. After that crash, he's 2.5 seconds behind Neg in P17. So something really, really has gone all right for Mohammed Ibrahim, and I don't think it's his fault.
And not his fault whatsoever. Normally, sometimes we would say that, oh, Ibrahim may be a bit too aggressive trying to come out to the inside of somebody, but in this case, he actually got punted off himself. And once again, it was a Williams car that actually sent him right to the back. So he's going to have to pick up pieces in race 2, Des.
He certainly is, and he's certainly going to have to try to rescue something from the rest of race number 1. Let's go on board with Martin Stefanko. So the second Williams car goes on the outside of Kalen Chin, and Stefanko actually eased himself into P4. So Stefanko is making a move. Ahead of him, he's got Mohamed Tasbi and Naqib Aslam, the Singaporean and the Malaysian, for Team Flash and Sem9 respectively. And Jack Keithley ahead of them. So the first 3 have got away. Behind then, well, Kalen Chin is going backwards. Nabil Aslan's the latest to take Kalen Chin.
Well, after that strong start, Kalen has actually faded a bit somewhat, but probably he's just conserving his tyres a bit towards the end, because it is quite a high tyre wear in this first race, and he is now having to stave off the advances of Dafa Adiansa. So Dafa then recovering as well after a slow start.
And Russell Reyes as well, not too far behind him for JMX Phantom. But Kalen Chin, everyone's on hard compounds. It's a sprint race, so I'm mystified when you say just try to conserve your tyres.
Maybe not to go for broke too soon, you know, because yes, it's a sprint race and you might want to attack all the way, but Kalen and the guys who just had slow starts don't want to actually get involved in any more of those and puncture their tires, you know. They do not want to actually lose tires here and start right at the back in race 2.
Okay, so Jack Keithley leads the way from Naqib Aslan. Stefanko tries to make a move now on the tail end of Mohamed Tasbi. He's got Nabil Aslam for company behind him, has Stefanko. The Williams racer is not too far off the overall championship lead, which brings me to Ben Spanky. Ben Spanky is the man, sorry Mr. Director or Miss Director, Ben Spanky is the man who's in P9 at the moment, and Spanky, carrying a lot of weight, is potentially in trouble.
Yeah, and another race that he is going to have to consign to the bin here. But remember, he already had his drop run as we now focus on Stefanko, who is fast charging here, coming up to the podium places. He's right behind Tasbi, and he has to avoid the same type of maneuver that knocked out Ibrahim that was done by his teammate Keithley. So he's taking it slowly here, not to really rush it too soon.
That is what Mohamed Tasbi gets in his rearview mirror, very aware of the Williams bearing down on him at Interlagos, between 2 lakes, literally, this venue. It is a beautiful circuit, although I tell you what, all Tasbi has got on his mind is the tarmac ahead of him.
And that's Stefanko actually lining one up here as we look at Dafa Adiansa trying to look on the inside of Kalen, and he didn't defend that time around again. Oh, tires touching, you wouldn't want that. You might get a puncture easily because of that, but they just grazed each other a bit and they live to fight another lap.
Daffy Adiansa has another little go on the side of Kalen Chin. And right behind Daffy Adiansa, we've got Russell Reyes, his JMX Phantom teammate. Kalen desperately tries to hold off the aggression from Daffy Adiansa, but Adiansa goes through. And I tell you what, Reyes is making a move as well. Kalen coming in attack from both JMX Phantoms.
Oh, double trouble, isn't it, Des? He's just really in a very desperate situation. He doesn't want to lose sight of the guys in front, but he's going to have to stave off 2 teammates who really want to actually pound him for that position. And so far, at least, he manages to hold off Russell because he was using the DRS coming through to see the Interlagos, but no way through just yet. And Kalen lives the fight again to come up to the back of Dafa this time with DRS to attack him.
Okay, let's move back to the front. We've been watching this little battle for quite a while. Stefanko has got himself ahead of Tasbi meantime. So Stefanko is in P3. We are on board here with Jack Keithley, as Jack Keithley has got Naqib Aslan for company. Stefanko has got to within 1.5 seconds of his. There is Stefanko coming round that corner ahead of Tasbi. So it's looking really strong for Williams.
Indeed, it might just be a Williams 1-2 if they're actually feeling bullish about it. But the top 2 are making a beeline for it now. Naqib is actually well ahead by 1.5 seconds ahead of Stefanko. So is Naqib now out of nowhere, almost even, to actually now challenge for the win here. It'll be his 2nd win of the season.
Okay, Mohamed Ibrahim, I can tell you, has just got past Jinmas Filton and has scorched his way up into P12. He's got Julian Kunter in his sights. There is Kunter just away to the left. Behind him is Jinmas Filton. But Mohamed Ibrahim, there's a look of grim determination on the look of Ibrahim, the defending champion.
Almost like a scowl even, to be honest, because he is absolutely miffed by the fact that he just got taken out while actually leading the race, and he legitimately had a very good start. Keithley is just really pound him out of the way to take that position. We'll have to wait until the stewards what they think about that. But for the time being, at least, Ibrahim is just on damage limitation as his championship hopes are slowly fading away.
He does have the DRS ahead of him. Inigo Anton has been overtaken by Julian Kunte. Will stay on board here with Mohamed Ibrahim because he's lapping pretty quickly. His last lap of 1:10.790 was a full second quicker than Inigo Anton, the car immediately ahead of him.
And look, we don't need to count the fastest laps anymore because he's got DRS, but whoa, Inigo defends on the outside, but that will be a disadvantage because he goes for a spin. That might have been a slight touch there, I'm not sure because we didn't see another angle of that, but Inigo is out of it.
Okay, up at the front, Nakib spins and will come under immediate pressure from Stefanko. In fact, Stefanko will take P2 ahead of Nakib Aslam. We just got the tail end of Nakib trying to attack down the inside with plenty of time to go. Was that just a little bit too risky from Nakib?
Too soon, Des. Too soon. He tried to attack the back of Keithley, but you saw that just now. He actually was just coming out to the back of Keithley's wing, and he spun. Looks as though the slightest of touches on the back of that Williams car was enough to send him into a half spin, but miraculously he recovered that, but at the expense of the fact that he lost time and position to the two Williamses.
So it is a Williams 1-2. Keithley, bottom right of your screen. Stefanko, bottom left. They are one stage early in the season after race one at Sepang. I think we were worried that this duo would run away with things. They haven't, but here they are in a fabulous position in Interlagos.
But here's another real big question, Des. Would Stefanko come to the back and attack Keithley and, you know, risk a bit of an inter-team battle? I personally don't want that to happen because it will ruin such a fantastic championship battle, especially given the fact that Mumbai Falcons here have faltered somewhat.
Okay, I need to take you to P5. Nabil is under pressure from Daffy Ardiansa. The JMX Phantom team really do seem to have their setups worked out. They look at the circuits, they really try to get it right. And Daffy's got the better of Kalen Chin, who's ahead of Russell Reyes right behind them. And Ben Spanky is behind them. Ben Spanky at the moment will only pick up 6 points today. We'll talk about him in just a moment.
Well, 7 actually, because it is P9 after all, as now Nabil moves out of the way to let Dafa through, but he'll have the RS next time by.
Okay, 5 minutes remaining. We are 2/3 of the way through this sprint race. We will resume that little battle in just a moment. Again, let's just go to the front where Nakib Aslam is closing on the back of Martin Stefanko. So Nakib, having lost P2, he has been lapping quickly. He a 1:10.9, which was a 10th faster than Stefanko last time round. So we'll be able to get onto the tail end of the Slovak.
Yeah, but again, it's another case to just catch up to the back of somebody and try to overtake. And with a guy with qualities such as Stefanko, that is easier said than done. Nakib then tried his luck at the back of Keithley. No cigar. He'll try again, this time by Stefanko. Looks as though he actually was about to lose control there. The car looks a bit loose at the moment.
Yeah, with DRS as well, you can take that into account because if, assuming Nakib can stay close enough with 2-3 laps to go, he will have opportunities to use the DRS.
But they had to take into account as well that they can use their battery pack for this one as well. So Stefanko might be using all of the energy that he has conserved through the corners here to just stave off the DRS assault from Nakib. Onto the Reta Aposta, the back straight, then DRS is open, but look, it's not making much of a difference, and that's because it looks as though Stefanko is actually using his energy to keep ahead of Nakib.
Okay, so it's Williams 1, Jack Keithley, Stefanko 2. I'm wondering though if there might be a racing incident to call for Jack Keithley early on.
Yeah,
real good battle to talk about here. 3 abreast, and Kalen Chin is once again providing the fun and games, if not the results that he really wants. But Kalen Chin has been able to just get himself in ahead of Nabil Aslam. And he's got Russell Reyes and Ben Spanky around him. But Kalen's given us some real entertainment in the live races and plenty of highlight reel stuff.
not just this season, but in the past seasons as well, but to the detriment of his results. It's a case again of what might have been had he started off well. Now he's just trying to pull off his almost traditional championship charge as Banky is on the DRS now.
Banky round the side of Nabil Aslan, so Ben Spanky, I think, will get a place up. Time is running out though. Every point though could be crucial. This will put him on to 8 points if he is able to hold on. So Ben Spanky is up into P8, 2:36 left, so they've probably got 3 laps. This and 2 more complete ones.
Indeed, and the fact that if he stays where he is right now, he could actually just afford to take the second row of the grid for race 2 and start further ahead of his championship rivals and pick up somewhat easy points that way, but points are never easy to score in E1, and unfortunately for Banky, he's having to fight every inch of real estate to get the points he needs.
Let's move to the battle for P4. Dafa Ardiansa maybe showing just a little bit of inexperience, trying to get on the back of the always consistent Mohamed Tasbi. Tell you what, you write this fella off for the championship at your peril. You really do, because he's consistently going to pick up double-digit points throughout the season.
Yeah, indeed. The fact that the most he had was 44, just like his car number, and the driver that he idolizes, Lewis Hamilton. So really then he had his high points this season. You can safely say ranked outsider at best at this moment in time.
At P1 though, this is going to be interesting. You posed the question, would Stefanko have a pop at Jack Keithley? The answer is yes, he will. He's going to have a go.
Yep, and in fact, Keithley's got 2 laps here to hold on from his teammate, and they do not want to actually lose the 1-2 they have right now, because that will be almost sealing the deal for Mumbai Falcons to take the team's championship this year.
Nakib isn't too far away either. Do we count Nakib out of, well, we're certainly looking at podium place. Do we count out a win for Nakib?
Well, he wants to get his second win of the season, as now they're coming out to the back markers here. They're passing Lance Lau 10 safely this time. So for Banky, he'll hope he'll pass Lance without any incident. But yeah, Nakib's just watching brief here. He's probably banking on the fact that both of these guys might just challenge each other. He could sneak in and win. But if he wants to go for that win, he has to do it now in this final lap.
If you follow us on Facebook, let's have your comments about this race for P1 between William Jack Keithley, Martin Stefanko and Nakib Aslam as they come into the final lap. So there will be just 1 lap for Nakib to maybe pick up just a little bit of time. Tell you what, he's there looking for any sense of an opportunity as Nakib. He's really close.
Yeah, very close. And Keithley now has to use his battery pack as Nakib dinks one on the inside. He was thinking about it just to scare Stefanko, but Stefanko holds firm. But he went narrow and lost a bit of time there to Keithley.
We're on board with Jack Keithley looking backwards. The Williams racer has got to keep his calm. He didn't expect to be on pole. Now he's on pole and he's in the lead, and I think he's wondering, can I keep this lead? They're already on the circuit. We've got overtaking opportunities, Amo. There's chances here.
But they're running out of overtaking spots at least. Now they had to really use the DRS to its full potential, and with the battery pack that they have to actually now go for a charge across the line, Des.
Okay, Keithley still leads. He's led for the best part of 6 laps, but Stefanko has got himself up into P2 as we are really, really close, and time has run out, and it's going to be Keithley who takes it. Nakib second, and Stefanko had a nightmare scenario to finish in P3. Really need to know what happened with Martin Stefanko, because he was in P2, lost it right at the end, lost a place. Tasby 4, Dafa Ardiansa 5. We'll talk about Stefanko in a moment, Amo, but Jack Keithley has taken the victory.
Look at that, though. 0, 0, 0, 0 all the way. Exactly up to the 1000th across the line. We need a photo finish recording on that. That is so close between Keithley and Nakib. In fact, it is still recording as 0, 0, 0. So really then, even the game doesn't know who won the race.
It was that close, but Stefanko just lost it. You look at him bottom left. He's, I'm sure Alex and Adam will want to have a chat with him to find out what went on. He and Jack Keithley are talking to each other, and Jack, I think, is saying, what the heck went on, Martin?
Yeah.
And do we know? Do you know?
No, but yeah, but by my observation of what happened there, Keith Lee was the center of the road. Stefanko tried to go for it onto the inside because he had the DRS, tried to overtake, whacked into the barriers. Nakib went to the right, and they were side by side across the line. That is insanity personified.
Identical times for Nakib Aslan, who gets a P2 and also the fastest lap for Nakib of a 1:10.777. Stefanko in P3. Tasbih, reliable flash 4. Dafa Ardianta, another good performance for him. Kalen again up with the leaders. Reyes, Banky. Ooh, problem for Ben Spanky and Mumbai Falcons. Ibrahim rescues P9. Nabil Aslan down in 10. Whoa, what will that say to the championship?
Thanks there, Des and Ammo. What a finish to that race.
Yeah.
Instant reaction, Alex. What happened to Stefanko right there?
I don't know what happened there. It looked like maybe Nakib and Stefanko had some contact just at the start-finish line. But I could see actually Stefanko was starting to have a little bit of net code over the last couple of laps. You could see the car bouncing around. So I don't know if that was net code, if there was actual contact between the drivers. Yeah, Nakib had such a great run out of the last two corners. And that allowed him to draft up and almost take the race win from them. But let's talk to Martin actually, who's on the line with us. Martin, well, first of all, great recovery to go from P5 to challenge for the win. But can you tell us what happened in the last lap?
Yeah, so basically our strategy in the last few laps was that Jack was gonna slow down a little bit and give me slipstream. I was faster than him anyway in the final stages of the race, but yeah, it was 1 second on the straight, so he lifted a little bit, so it's under 1 second, so I get the DRS. But then I was a little bit too fast for him, so I was lifting behind him at the end of the straights. And then the last lap came, and yeah, it was really close to me, so yeah, I was trying to defend, and then I didn't want to pass Jack because he deserved to win. But that's what probably lost me the second place. So in hindsight, probably should have just passed him and we would have gotten a 1-2. But you know, it's what it is. We still got a lot of points, especially compared to our opponents in the championship. And yeah, at least it gives me a better position for the second race.
Yeah, because heading into this, you were 36 points behind Mumbai Falcons. You've made up a lot of ground today, given how badly they've done compared to previous races. I mean, the importance of today being the penultimate race, are you thinking about that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's our main goal to close the gap to them in the championship and to ultimately win the championship. And for that, we need to, you know, be lucky as well. And yeah, just make sure that we get clean races and then we're at the top of our game, because we were a little bit unlucky in the last two events, or two or three events. Yeah. If we keep this going, you know, we're gonna be in a good position for the final event. But you know, it's still a long way to go, and anything can happen.
Okay. Final question from me here: the aggressiveness. Are you both looking to be a little bit more aggressive than what we've seen before, because time is running out to win points?
From my side, not really. Because of the ping, mostly you have to be really careful, and it's very different compared to other championships where the ping is not an issue and you can afford to race somebody hard. Here it's not really possible, because even if on your screen you don't really touch the car, you know, it's the game still will register the contact, so you try to be more careful. So you know, I don't want to get any penalties. I'm sure Jack doesn't want any penalties as well. So from my side, you know, I'll race the other guys just as I was racing them before, because you know, I don't want something bad to happen, and you know, I'd rather lose a point or two than, you know, damaging my car and losing plenty of points.
Okay, Martin, thank you very much for that. And Alex, the reason I asked is because of Jack right at the start, him and Mohamed Ibrahim. Mohamed Ibrahim getting the jump, Jack getting right back into it and then never losing that
but
position.
that's with Stefanko, that's why he's up there in the championship, because we've talked about it before. He does play the numbers game. He's been involved in plenty of first lap melees, and you can see him sometimes back off and just not go for the gap just because he's worried about that contact, which is a smart thing to do, because we've seen cars lose front wings and that's it. Your race is done and you can lose a whole bunch of points. So Martin, yeah, I think I think that's a smart thing to do, especially in the championships this close.
Yeah, okay, I think we have someone else on the line. He finished in P2. Okay, Baslan, are you there, sir?
I'm here, yeah.
Okay, hey, what was your perspective on what happened right at the finish line? Because it looked like chaos on TV, I can tell you that much.
From my point of view, I think, yeah, up to the final corner, I got a good exit. I knew the DRS was going to be close, so just prayed, really. I feel like because Stefanko stayed behind Keithley, I think he kind of bumped him, and that's what propelled me to P2. It's very hard to say. I think the top 3 was covered within a 1/10 of a second, so yeah, super close, super tight. I'm just glad I got P2 out of it.
Yeah, you got onto the podium as well, and I felt that you needed a strong race. I mean, yeah. I'm sure you won't mind too much because it's your brother, but he did exceptionally well last week, winning a race, and all of that. And today it's your turn to shine.
No, actually, it bothered me a lot since it was my brother.
There's a competition between you two then.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, it's healthy competition. We like to push each other further in front. Obviously, I like to be the one winning, but it's good to see him at the top as well. He's making really good progress. Yeah, but yeah, I think we were close up to the win just now. I think I got caught up with Keithley in the midway through the race. So I want to have a look at it further in before I say too much about that. But yeah, I think nevertheless, really happy with how our car performs this round. From previous rounds, really struggling on the back foot. So good race 1. Hopefully now another good race 2.
Good for you. Good for Sem 9. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
One quick question before we go for a break. I'm just wondering, based on the conversation Amo and Des were having, the hard compounds.
Okay, so that's because tire wear was ×4 for race 1, but for race 2 it's going to be ×3. So I think we're going to see a mixture of compounds for race 2. It's a longer race, obviously, but I think we'll see some guys doing hard mediums, some guys trying to do mediums as well. So we'll see some different strategies in race 2.
I can't wait for that. Tell you what, let's go for a quick commercial break. When we return, it's going to be race 2, the reverse grid. Should be fun. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are off to a start. Jack Keithley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. On our Facebook pages. Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure, so that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think in fact it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap, and Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Baslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib playing one tap should actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen has pitted as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows how can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are up to a start. Jack Keithley gets the victory, punches the air in delight.
Welcome back once again to the E1 Championship 2022. This is round 6 of 7 in total. My name's Adam Carruthers alongside the race director Alex Young, where it's organised by Axel Sports, EGG and Astro, supported by MAM, that's the Motorsports Association of Malaysia, and Race Room. We are live, by the way, on Arena Plus Suka. We're also broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook. All you have to do is to look up E1 Championship, put that into your keyboard. We're broadcasting in Singapore via Mio Sports 2, in Vietnam on VTV Cab, Thailand on True Gaming Up, and in Indonesia via TVRI Sport. And if you've just tuned in, you've missed qualifying, race 1. And before we have race 2, let's have a recap of the sprint race, because it was exciting. Des and Ammo.
Dead right, it was exciting. Jack Keithley on pole position by thousandths of a second, but beaten to the punch by Mohamed Idrim to the first corner. But then Amo Haziq, there will be a moment that may well come back to really haunt Jack Keithley as he smashed into the back of the Mumbai Falcons racer. This is the first of the contact. What did you make of it?
Yeah, Ibrahim just went wide and he went to the top of Keithley's car, so really somehow he rolled over there, and I thought it was a collision from Keithley's side, so it looks as though Keithley might be safe, but it's not for me to decide, it's the stewards to decide. As Kalen then attacked Keithley, he looked good in early doors, but then he faded towards the end.
Yeah, Kalen Chin is always giving us a lot of entertainment. He is a competitive racer. Nakib Aslan, then he tried to take on Jack Keithley up at the front, and Nakib would be pretty good, but Mohamed Idrim dropped down to P18. Nakib versus Keithley. Nakib tries just a little bit too much. That's a mistake that allows Martin Stefanko into P2.
Indeed, and the fact that well, he tapped at the back of his rear wing and he was the one that actually spun out, so it's a bit of a weird incident, but it didn't phase him because towards the end of this race, this was what happened towards the end. The top three were very close.
The top three were very close. Coming into the final corner, something happens to Stefanko. He hits the wall. They go across the line, identical time, but Nakib Aslan just favoured for P2 behind Jack Keithley.
Thanks, Des and Ammo. We have about 2 minutes till the next race, and I need to ask about the mindset. I mean, Martin, more than anybody else, is going to have to put it behind him now, because I'm sure we spoke to him. He looked frustrated.
Yeah, I think, you know, they wanted to try and make sure they get the first and second position, but they had that mix-up at the line, and they lost that second position. But, you know, Martin's a pro. You know, he's he's won so many championships in the sim world, and yeah, he'll be back stronger than ever for race 2.
Let's have the official standings from that race, though. Des and Ammo, talk us through this.
Yeah, subject to protest, this is how it stands. Jack Keithley taking the win, 25 points. Nakib Aslan fastest lap and P2 ahead of Stefanko. Tasby in P4, Daffy Ardianza, another good performance. Ibrahim recovers the 9 Ammo.
Yeah, that's a good way to recover there, but in the grand scheme of things, Mumbai Falcons really had a shocking first race. That will actually put them in a bit of a back foot coming into the grand total after this. Williams are looking really, really good right now to try and chip away the lead in the team's championship.
Yeah, so that's the final result of race 1, but it's a reverse grid is race number 2, so that's looking very, very opportunistic for Mumbai Falcons. Overall, so for today, this is just for today, it's not the overall. Keithley, 30 points, subject to the appeal. And we've really got to say that. Nakib, 22, Stefanko, 17. Who else impressed you out of those top 10?
I would say Nakib as well, actually, because he started way outside that top 5 in P8 to go all the way up to second and just only by a whisker missing out on the win, but getting the fastest lap. That was, so far, driver of the race.
Okay, our story for the season continues.
You are a sly one, Alex, as the race director. Having this reverse grid just switches everything up. And I'm thinking Mumbai Falcons need this, particularly Bence, because he'll want some breathing space before the final round.
Well, I mean, out of the top 4, Benz can afford a slightly bad round today. The other 3 can't at all. But for the Constructors' Championship, you're absolutely right. You know, Mumbai Falcons for the last 2 rounds have just been killing it, and that's why they're leading the championship on both fronts. But now Williams have shot back, first and third race 1, and I think they're going to be strong in race 2 as well. So you're right, Mumbai Falcons need to take something from race 2. Both their drivers are at the front of the grid for race 2, and they need to capitalize on that.
Heading into this round, they were over 30 points ahead, Mumbai Falcons that is, from Williams. The gap will be closer now, and we might even see it closer come the end of race 2. So I think we're just about ready for this. I'm going to pass the mic over to Des and Amo for what we're hoping will be a thrilling race.
We know it'll be a thrilling race, Adam. That's the one thing we can guarantee, particularly with the reverse grid. And there's a lot at stake here. There's $20,000 US. You're a racer. I sometimes say ex-racer, a real racer. $20,000 is worth racing for.
Absolutely, and the fact that you can share it also with your team as well. If you were to be the champion team, it's a big payday, Des, and of course they're going to go all out for these final 2 races, especially 3, in fact, because we already discounted the first one. So 3 races left to go in the season. Squeaky bum time, all the slangs that you want to use about it, they're going to go for it. Really, then, it's now or never to get the points needed for the final round.
Indeed, it's bubbling up nicely ahead of the reverse grid race number 2. It will be Des Corkill, that's me, the pretty one on the left, Amo on the right. We will be describing the action from the Interlagos Circuit. It's Sao Paulo. It's virtual, but the graphics looking absolutely splendid. Conditions just about perfect, and the competitiveness up at the top end right there as we get ready for the 30-minute race number 2. We are on board with Ben and Nabil Aslan, who is on pole. Top of your screen, the red lights go off and we are underway. First thing to tell you, Ibrahim and Banki, medium compound tyres, and immediately Ibrahim goes into P2. So Mumbai Falcons, they're looking to take no prisoners. They're really going for it.
They're not messing about this. They really want to go for it in this race too, because they want to pick up as many points as possible here so that they could stave off the Williams charge. And look at that. That's evidence of why they're going for it. Immediately, Ibrahim shot to the front of the field with Banki following suit.
Everybody else is on hard compound tyres. So then, Ibrahim, who is known to be an aggressive racer, and Ben Banki, who needs the victory here. Banki tries to go on the inside of Nabil Aslam. Can't afford to have contact. They want to be quick, but they want to be nice and clear when they make their moves. It's so important for them to avoid contact, and Banki is indeed ahead of Nabil into P2.
And look at that. That squabbling for P2 has actually opened up a gap a bit to Ibrahim. He's almost a second ahead, but still not enough to break the DRS toe. And this time, everyone behind Ibrahim will get the DRS, Des.
So we are at Sao Paulo. We're at the Interlagos Circuit. Mohamed Ibrahim, Mumbai Falcons, leads the way from Banki as they come into lap number 2. 30-minute race. Medium compound tyres for these guys. And Inigo, Anton Naxalokam and Dan Finney. Everybody else on hard compound. That means it's going to get very, very competitive behind Mohamed Tasbi, who is at the moment in P3, leading a chain ahead of Nakib, Nabil, Kalen, Russell Reyes, Jim Wilton, Jack Keithley, who's got himself up into P9, and Inigo Anton.
Oh, and speaking of Anton, he nearly completely lost it there coming out of the Cida del Lago, but we're looking at Nakib here. He manages to get ahead of his brother, and so does Kalen. Kalen dives one here on the inside, so I guess you can safely say that. Oh, look at that! That's a similar incident that happened to Ibrahim and Keithley, but it's much worse. Nabil's been sent into the wall. Kalen goes around.
Kalen Chin, once again, is heavily involved, desperately trying to capture Kalen Chin. But there is Kalen Chin, just as again, he got himself into a terrific position, and then he's involved in a racing incident. He's an experienced sim racer, Kalen.
But unfortunately, he seems to be a magnet for so many unfortunate events this season. It might just be his most eventful championship, as Keithley sends one up into the inside at the center S's and overcooks it even. So he's going to have to regroup and try to go back to the drawing board on that one.
But he's got himself up into the top 6, and that is very good for him. But Inigo Anton, the young Filipino, right on his tail. Anton uses DRS and tries to go round the outside. Keithley defends on the inside of the corner. Anton uses the track plus some, but goes through into P6 for Team Flash. Good movement by the Filipino.
And incidentally, his race number is, I think, number 33 for the season, and he literally went almost full Max Verstappen around the outside to overtake Keithley, but that was fair. That was still at least 2 tires on the circuit, so he gets by Keithley, and Keithley then looking as though he's struggling somewhat after the initial burst of pace.
Let's go back to the top, where, because Ibrahim is leading the way and Ben Spanky is close behind him. They are getting very close. I'd be amazed if they actually race competitively at this stage. I'd imagine they just want a fast train, but saying that, Banky goes through, uses the DRS, and so he's the man. They'll slingshot past each other surely until the final few laps.
Yep, and until the pit stops come in, and then they'll try to do that again, because the moment that they get into this DRS cycle where they can just slipstream each other and give each other the tow, they can actually go further ahead of Nakib. And look, Ibrahim's not actually using his DRS that time around. He's just tucking into the back of the rear wing of Banky so that they could do like peloton racing, where they could just stretch ahead of the rest of the group.
It's amazing how quickly the race can turn, because the reverse grid race really gave Mumbai Falcons a chance to get back in. They were, what, 2 and 3 on the grid, and they've really capitalized with this very aggressive medium compound strategy.
Indeed. And they had to make that work, because if they don't, they're going to fall off the cliff very soon, and they will actually get back into the clutches of the likes of Nakib and Tazbe. So this has to work. Their medium tire strategy and the entire season in the Teams Championship depends on them working on how this particular DRS cycle works out for them.
Talking about teams, this is Keithley in P8, Stefanko behind him in P9. These are Williams Esports. We focus a lot on these two teams because they're the ones who are really challenging for the title, but they've got themselves caught up in an awful lot of traffic, and Inigo ahead of them, he's on medium compounds as well, so the caution might backfire for Williams.
Indeed, they were a bit tepid in that start, if we're honest, because after such a dominant first race where they were 1 and 3, it looks as though they're going to have to work out in the pit stops here to actually gain back some lost ground. And indeed, they will lose points to Mumbai Falcons even if they finish first and second in this race. Russell
Reyes is the man in P6 at the moment. He's got Inigo Anton just ahead of him. Different teams but similar coloured cars. Russell Reyes, 2 Filipinos going head toe-to-toe here, or wheel-to-wheel. Really is a good battle. Reyes, senior in age. Anton probably got a bit more experience on the sims and has certainly had an awful lot more success on e-racing and race room. But they're having a good little battle for P6.
Yep, and let's hope for the both of them is cleaner this time compared to what happened when they were battling side by side in Donington, where Reyes showed a bit of elbows to Anton and saying that, look, I'm the faster Filipino, don't pass me.
Let's have a look at an inter-team battle here. This is Axel Knockon up against Dan Finney. Although they're in different colour liveries, they are teammates. A 10-year-old is Axel Knockon, who's just been relegated down into P13. But there he is, bottom left of your screen. Was it Axel who at one stage when he started was on the iPhone, but now he's obviously got a real rig here?
Yeah, we can safely say he was actually using like a gamepad to drive. Now he's on a full direct drive unit and he's driving well. He tapped to the back of Finney. The YouTuber will probably not be appreciating that one. He's actually even driving in VR, in fact. So that's actually one for the YouTube videos.
Yeah, there is Finney, bottom right. They are representing EGG. We don't often have a chance to really feature them. So it is good to feature them. Nabil Aslan, I need to tell you, he has dropped down. He's got Mihai Neg from TRX for company, but down in P15 for Nabil. Last week, race winner. This week, P15.
Yeah, talk about the highest of highs. Now he just fell off the top of Mount Everest and all the way back to base camp here. He's just, you know, it's a bit of a catharsis, you can safely say, with the way he's feeling at the moment. He has actually taken the rings inside at 719 to be ahead of his brother, but now this particular round, Nakib is now taking the initiative.
Okay, one more to really look at. Julian Kunter, we don't really spend a lot of time following the Apex Racing Academy Brunei team. Julian hasn't been able to put the points on the board that we, I think, thought he might be able to. But the German, he's got himself P11 here and is just behind Musvilton and Daphne Ardianta and the two Williams. So maybe a chance to pick up some useful points for Kunter.
Well, as a matter of fact, because he did not compete in 2 of the rounds so far this year, so we can safely discount them out of championship contention as he now tries to dive one on the inside of Masvilton. No way through just yet. One podium to show for, shows that he has the quality, but
that's the point, yeah.
Yep. If he was more consistently available, we probably would have seen him much higher in the championship standings, Des.
Okay, right, let's go back up to our race leaders. We've rather ignored them because Banki and Mohammed Ibrahim on the medium compounds have been able to establish a 4-second lead ahead of Nakib Aslan in P3. So this is a good team strategy. It will become a race between these two a little bit later on.
Yeah, we'll see whether or not they will go on to a second set of mediums after this, because remember, we don't have that kind of F1 tire rule where you have to use 2 sets of compounds, as we are going to look at what's happened between the Williams guys against the Filipinos.
Yeah, Russell Reyes leads that Filipino battle. So JMX Phantom ahead of Team Flash, and then the Williams are stalking, using DRS and Stefanko and Keithley both making a move. Okay, we're on board there with Stefanko, but Keithley, he just didn't have the pace, even with DRS, to go through the inside of Inigo and Tom. Those medium compounds, very, very useful for Inigo, but they might be beginning to wear now 9 minutes into this race.
Yeah, he might just feel that there's grip running out there. Not to say he's falling off the cliff just yet, but he will start to actually slide around a bit more, and he will not be able to fend off guys who are still on medium hard tires that are actually still having some life in them. So watch out then. The Williams guys may just tackle him into turn 1.
So Anton is under pressure from Keithley, Stefanko, Daffy Ardianta and Kunter's still there, and Jim Musvilton, to be fair. But this is eating up some valuable time and giving an awful lot more of the lead to Ben Spanky and Mohammed Ibrahim. Right, how long will the medium compounds last? Half the race?
More than half the race, yes. Oh, Inigo has actually spun around, and look who actually went to the back of him that time. It was actually Stefanko.
So Inigo Anton, he spins out and looks forlorn, bottom left of your screen. Stefanko, I think, has managed just to avoid that damage, and Stefanko has stayed in and is right on the tail of his teammate Jack Keithley, so he's somehow escaped that mayhem.
And unfortunately for Inigo, he suffered a puncture from that. I'm seeing through the live timing right now, so that's why Inigo couldn't recover as quickly.
He's on medium, mediums.
So that's why the mediums have now well and truly gone off the cliff, so he's gonna have to trundle back into the pits on tires that are more than second rates.
Okay, so it's good news in the bigger picture for Team Williams, but Daffy and JMX Phantom, I've really liked the work of Daffy Ardianta over the last few weeks. We didn't know an awful lot about him. There he is, bottom right of your screen, Daffy, and he's just nipped through Stefanko there. He's got himself up into P7. Again, he's on the hard compounds, using the DRS very nicely. Defends going into the home straight, and is just overtaken by Stefanko. But a P6 for Daffy Ardianta.
Yep. Is it 6 there? Because it turned to 8 for a second, so P6.
Okay, right, I need to tell you, Banky is into the pits.
And let's hope that none of them get a drive-through on this occasion.
Ibrahim into the pits, so the medium compounds haven't gone halfway. Nowhere near halfway.
Oh, they've actually chewed through those tires quickly, because remember, they were on a frenetically fast pace at the front, so that's why they actually chewed through the tires. Now they're gone onto the hards. They're going all the way to the end this time, but they're gonna have to go for longer beyond the halfway point on these hard tires.
And Benki has had he's made a massive lead over Mohammed Ibrahim. He's picked up 2 seconds on Ibrahim at that pit stop.
Maybe his in-lap was fast. Maybe Ibrahim was just a bit more careful exiting the pit lane, because he doesn't want to get a drive-through, obviously, so guess he was a bit more cautious. But Banky, despite being the faster of the two out of the pit lane, did not get a drive-through, and he's still 2 seconds ahead, so that's advantage to the Slovakian.
Which means our race leader is Nakib Aslan. So P2 in race 1, P1 in race 2, but he has still got his pit stop to go. Tasby is second. Reyes is leading the battle for P3, but Keithley and Stefanko are piling on the pressure. This is where we'll find out if the hard compound, medium compound battle really was a wise decision. So Mumbai Falcons, medium compound, went in early. It means that Keithley is out on the track at the moment. They've got a pit stop to go, but what will the differential be?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty nip and tuck, isn't it? Because right now the gap between where Stefanko is and to Ibrahim is about 15 seconds. That's close. That's going to be cutting it very close. 15 seconds to do a stop. Yeah, they're going to be at least about 7 seconds by the end of it because the delta loss in the pit lane is around about 23 seconds.
I need to tell you that Ibrahim and his teammate Banky have come out on hard compound tyres. Inigo Anton, he is out. He had indeed got that puncture, so he is lost. Who have we got? So Stefanko now begins to make a move on the back of Russell Reyes. Stefanko round the outside, accelerates through. Has he got the pace? The answer is yes.
But for how much? Because look, this is a typical Interlagos style maneuver. Reyes dived back on the inside, coming out of the center S's, and that compromises Stefanko a bit because that will allow his teammate Dafa Ardianza to come right through.
Certainly did, didn't it? There is Daffy Ardianza. So he went through and then dropped back once again. So Williams, I'm sure, are thinking about the front, but must worry about the midfield.
Indeed, in fact, that if they pit too early and while the others are still out on track, they might actually get back into a midfield scrap that they would not want because they will lose so much time. And look, at the moment, at this point in time, they're losing time to the guys behind, which is the Mumbai Falcons who have stopped. So they're in really needless battles that are compromising their race.
Indeed they are. I need to take you to the front. Naqib Aslam. He's got a 2-second lead from Mohammed Tasby. We are approaching halfway. Hard compound. I ask this every week and you always push back at me. Will anybody be brave enough to go 22, 23 minutes and then risk soft compounds?
I have to say no to that one again.
Because of the tyre wear.
Yeah, the tyre wear is way too high. If it was a ×2 tyre wear, they would be a bit bullish on that. But at this point, because it's ×3, as you can see, the porpoising actually is quite evident on screen there. Yeah, at least around the 20th minute mark, 10 minutes left to go, they will go for it. But then they will just go into mediums anyway.
Okay, Julian Kunze has come into the battle for the argument for P6, Apex Racing Academy. This is good to see Apex getting a little bit of genuine time on screen. We've not really been able to talk to much about them, but he looks fairly phlegmatic, fairly solid. Jin Masvilton for company right behind him. He's chasing Daffy Ardianza and Martin Stefanko for P5. But here is Kunze. Looking very serene, it must be said. Lapping 1:11.7, which is about 5/10 slower than the race leader Naqib Aslam. And he's under pressure from Jin Masvilton, but no, right. Let's look at next. Mumbai Falcons, what progress are they making?
Well, so far at least they've got into the back of traffic.
Who's he on
here.
the back there? Or is it lapping somebody? Is that one of the Apex racers?
Yes, one of the Apex guys.
Lance Lau, isn't it?
Yep, that's Lance Lau, so they're going to overtake Lance easily there. But Lance is giving a fight for it here, and they already had a bit of history because of qualifying. That was absolutely right on the edge of how that was not an accident.
Yeah, Benson Lance had a little bit of a talk where Banky was saying, Lance Lau, you again? And should stay at home if you can't race. And Lance replied, I am at home.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to delve deep into that one, but that was just so close there to becoming an unbelievable accident.
Naqib still leads the way. I'm really curious as to how long he will go on these compounds. Is he going for a hard medium? Because if he can get this down to 11 minutes, 12 minutes, the mediums come into play. We've seen that they last 12 minutes quite comfortably.
Yeah, well, not so comfortably because they would love to have to bring him all the way to the halfway mark. But yeah, he might actually try and do the medium tire strategy to go all the way to the end of the race. As now we're looking at Naqib here, not pitting just yet. So yeah, he might just pit after the 20th minute mark.
Wow, that's very, very impressive. He's got a 5-minute lead over Mohammed Tasby. There's Tasby in P2. Beyond them, a 4-second lead over Jack Keithley. Jack Keithley in P3, but has yet to pit. How brave will these guys be? How long will they take it?
There's another thing to point out, actually, Des. They have not been fast on the hards. The Mumbai Falcons guys have not been actually inching closer up to the guys in the front. So look, they're actually now losing positions here even. Neg has actually gone by Ibrahim, so they're struggling on the hards, and they are now letting this race slipping through their fingers. So if Naki were to pit now, he will be in the lead of the race.
Wow. Okay, so Mihai Neg just loses that position that he took from Mohamed Ibrahim, but Mihai Neg from TX3, again, not one we've seen an awful lot of, and I think we expected more from the Romanian, but he had his moment in the spotlight there, overtaking Banki, who's in P11, and Mohamed Ibrahim in P12. Right, Nakib, sorry, Mihai, we're going to lose you off the screen. Serene though you were looking. I'm curious to see if Nakib decides that this is the time to go in.
He might not know it, but I think if he has a race engineer calling to him right now, he could tell him that the Mumbai Falcons guys are not making any progress. They're still stuck there outside of the top 10. Yes, they've pitted after the likes of Nabil and whatnot, but they're not making any pace. So if he actually were to pit really within the next couple of minutes and goes on to the medium tires, he might actually just fancy his chances here of getting his second win of the season.
Yeah, his last lap was a 1:11.2. The medium compounds are a second faster, 1:10.2.
Yeah, but again, still...
Sorry, they're the hard compounds now, aren't they? Sorry.
They're
the fresh hard compounds.
Yep. Or for the Mumbai Falcons guys, yes, they're not really making any inroads, while Nakib on the older hard compound tires, just outside the 10s in the 11.2 that time around.
And he stayed out again.
And he stays out. So really, he is actually trying to go onto the faster set of tires towards the end of the race.
Axel Knockom it is who he's overtaken. So Axel in P16 out to the points. Keithley and Stefanko, they come into the pits right now.
And the gaggle of cars that follow in suit even as well, with the likes of that looks like
Reyes, Masvilton, Kunze.
And Kunze. So that's 5 cars in a row that's coming into the pits. And they have to watch out because Williams Esports are the team that have been caught up the most with the drive-thrus this season. And looks as though it's a gingerly getaway for Stefanko. Keithley got away well. And there we go. That's actually Banki now challenging the back of Nabil Aslan. They have actually gotten ahead of the Williams guys.
They have. Oh, Russell Reyes speeding in the pit lane. Banki moves now up to P3. Ooh, Nakib is 23 seconds ahead of Bent Banki. Is that going to be enough?
Yeah, that's going to be nip and tuck. That's going to be very close. But I believe, because I did estimate about 23 seconds being the delta loss in the pit lane, it's going to be also close.
It's going to be magically close.
So then, we're looking at Banki coming out of Bigo de Pato, the duckbill. Nakib now pitting into the pit, coming into the pits. So let's see then, where is he in relation to it? So he comes up, Jax comes up, and it looks as though it's a bit of a slow-ish stop. Now he only comes up. Where are the Mumbai Falcons guys coming around onto the start-finish straight here? It's going to be ultra close.
Really is start-finish straight for Banki. Nakib and Tasby is there. So where is Nakib? Nakib is on his way out, but Banki is the new race leader. So Nakib, he pitted late, but he's on medium compounds. There is the key. Nakib is on medium. Banki and Ibrahim are on hard. It's a reverse strategy. Which one will work? Which one? Love this race. Love this race.
Yep, this is the alternate strategy, as you can safely say, for some races like, for example, Formula 2. As we are going to go now to a battle between the two Williams guys who are actually coming out to the back of Tasby. So we'll put that battle for the lead aside, as Nakib then immediately punches it on those medium tires. Keithley is ahead of Stefanko by only just a second as Nabil gets a drive-through. So Nabil finally gets caught in the end.
Dear. Fascinating stuff. Fascinating. So this is Keithley and Stefanko. They're Williams. They had such success in race number 1, P1 and P3, subject to appeals, it must be said, at the moment. Banky leads the way. He was and remains the championship leader. Remember, there's only 2 races to go after this one. In 2 weeks' time, we will have the finale of the E1 Championship 2022 season. And it is going to be so tight, so nip and tuck. But the Falcons are going to be in the discussion.
Yeah, and in fact, the Falcons, we can safely say, yeah, that's the first one I've said today, Des, are putting one hand on the championship trophy here because they're going to outscore Williams by virtue of the fact that the two Williams drivers are still not making any progress up to the top 4. They're just behind Mohammed Tasbi.
One man who is making a bit of progress. What have we got on the clock? 7 minutes and 15 seconds left. Nakib, 3 seconds. We haven't got a lap time yet, a flying lap time with the new medium compounds. Tasbi is behind them, and Keithley and Stefanko also on mediums behind them. So if the differential, if they can get a full second a lap quicker, then this puts this race into Nakib's hands.
And once again, 2 races in a row, Nakib will be involved in a 3-way battle for the lead of the race. But it's going to be even closer by the virtue of the fact that he's on medium tires and he's actually much faster this time around. In fact, crosses the line, 10.3. And where does he lie compared to Banky and Ibrahim? Is 11.1 for Banky, 10.9. So he's 6/10 faster than Ibrahim that time round.
Okay. That's not as quick as it'd like to be, got to be said.
Yeah, but still making progress. In fact, he's 2.6 seconds this time. So either way, he is catching.
There they were, just ahead of him. Behind him, it's Mohammed Tasbi. Good little battle going on for P8 at the moment between Jin Masvilton and Dafiar Diancia. There is Masvilton in 8, and it's Julian Kunze just in front of them in the white livery.
Well, Kunze actually had a bit of a wild moment coming out of the seat of the Lago there. Manages to hold on to P7 only for the time being as Masvilton then hounds the back of that Apex Academy car. And likewise, Adianza goes around the outside through Pinarino. We don't see where is Adianza then. There he is on the inside, coming out to Bigo de Pato and takes away P8. So Kunze can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief, knowing for a fact that the guys behind him are fighting.
So there is Kunze. Masvilton in the darker of those cars has lost his place. I can tell you there's a battle going on between Keithley, who's got past Tasbi. Keithley used the DRS to get into P4. So no matter what, this is going to be a good day for Jack Keithley. We haven't got confirmation of his P1 from race 1 yet, but he's closing in on a double-digit point score for race number 2.
Indeed, and Stefanko then would like to follow suit as quickly as possible because, again, this race is, you can safely say, a bit of a lost cause at the moment because they're just trying to fight their way through that mid-pack in that top 10 that have been fighting so hard, which has compromised their races somewhat. And now they're just about, what, 5 to 6 seconds behind Ibrahim and Banky. So this is this race belongs to the Mumbai Falcons, we can say so.
We can safely say for about the 15th time. Okay, Nakib Aslan, we can safely say, is closing in on the front 2. So there is Mohammed Ibrahim. Last lap, a 1:10.2 for Nakib, a 1:10.7 for Ibrahim, but a 1:10.1 for Ben Spanky on hard compounds. That is some lap from Ben Spanky.
In fact, that was him on the medium tires, because right now it's a 111.2 last time out, and 111 dead for Ibrahim, a 110.1 for Nakib.
It's strange that the tire compound's not making that much of a difference, is it?
No, actually, the hard compound tires for the Mumbai Falcons have not really worked out, actually. They are actually pretty much not on the pace that they would have wanted, and Nakib, who is consistently in the 10s, just dipped into the 11s while he was on the hards, is making up the time here with the medium tires, and he's right behind these two. So fights on then for the win in race 2.
4 minutes to go, just 4 minutes to go. I can tell you, Tasbi has put his little spoke in the Williams works, because he has got himself ahead of both Jack Keithley and Martin Stefanko. I think that's a battle that's going to rage until the final stages. Tasbi, a P4 in race 1. No, he probably needs more than that, doesn't he, to be a genuine championship contender. He needs probably needs a podium and has to have a stellar final race of the season. It's not double points at the final race of the season, is it?
Yeah, gotta have to see back in the regs whether or not it is going to be a final double points finale.
Alex Young is too conservative. Of course, it should be double points, triple points.
Well, we're not going to go for that. Well, we're probably going to go for that anyway, just to spice things up, as Tasbe then does an absolutely brilliant job of regaining 4th place from the 2 Williams drivers.
Sorry about that. I've cut away onto Nakib.
Yep, Nakib now onto the back of the Mumbai Falcons guys. And, oh, that's actually Ibrahim going wide, coming into turn 5, and that presented an opportunity for Nakib to go through. That might have been the tyres just calling it quits.
Right, so then, but that's the hard compounds Ibrahim's on. Why would the tyres be calling it quits? Not this early, surely.
Or was it a tactical move? Yeah, it also might have been a tactical move to just
get on the DRS.
Yeah, just to get a DRS. So because he doesn't want to attack his teammate Banky, knowing for a fact that Banky is fighting for the championship. Ibrahim as well, actually. Let's not beat around the bush on that one. It's just that probably he's trying to give Nakib just the DRS advantage for now. But then when he's up in front, that will be the ball back in the Mumbai Falcons court.
This is Machiavellian stuff, as Nakib Aslan does indeed have the lead. Ooh, what are we? They'll complete this lap and the next. So there are 2 laps to go. Nakib Aslan is on the medium compound tyres, but will that be enough for him to break the DRS chain behind him? Ben Spanky and Mohammed Ibrahim are going to have to hold on for grim death.
Yeah, in fact, the medium tyres are still holding on well for Nakib. So don't know why the tyre preservation for the Mumbai Falcons guys have not really worked out well for this particular race. They were on the medium tyres, they made it work in that first stint, but once Nakib bolted on the medium tyres himself, he has been on fire. He's still in the 110s, as we have lost Tasbe, who wagged it to the barriers coming out to turn, turn 5 even.
Mohammed Tasbe, that is probably the end of his championship hopes. Remote though they were. Both Tasbe, who's done a sterling job in getting into contention, he is now out. Tell you what, Nakib has broken the DRS, and Nakib will go into the final lap, and he'll leave those Mumbai Falcons to scrap it out amongst themselves for the 2nd and 3rd places.
He kept his powder dry, didn't he? He just waited for the right time to strike by coming to the pits and having enough life in those medium tires to really just go for it. He might have had 5 seconds to make up after he came out of the pits, but made no mistake, he's been pounding in the laps consistently to get up to the back of the Mumbai Falcons guys and overtake both of them with so much ease, and he's well on his way here to take his 2nd victory of the season.
We'll go back to him in just a second. Let's see if Mohammed Ibrahim is being the consummate team man. Banky is in P2. Will Mohammed Ibrahim kind of just let Banky take P2 and allow Banky to retain a little bit of a lead in the overall championship standings? That's being a team player.
Oh, absolutely. And we would have probably been pinching ourselves if we said that last season after what happened between Sub and Alif. But make no mistake, he is playing for the team, and Banky will be laughing all the way to the bank here. But Nakib is laughing all the way to the start-finish line to take his 2nd win of the season.
Nakib Aslan for Sem 9 takes the victory. He enjoys it ahead of championship leader Ben Spanky. Mohammed Ibrahim plays the team game for P3. Martin Stefanko gets ahead of Jack Keithley for P4. Another big finish for Daffy Ardiansa, completing it in P6. We'll talk about the overall team championship, but for Nakib, this propels Nakib right back into the mix. He's a former champion himself. On board Russell Reyes for some reason, but Nakib, a former champion himself. You don't count him out, do you?
No, don't discount him by any means, because if he has that double points finish in the final round, he might be fancying his chances, as Reyes there pipped Daniel Finney to the line by the slimmest of margins. That was basically a typical start-finish photo finish in Interlagos. But take nothing away then, Nakib drove an absolutely brilliant race. Very tactful, very consummate, very careful to just not to actually trip over anybody, and took it at the right chance.
I've got to really salute Mohammed Ibrahim. When he said team player over the last couple of weeks, I did have a furrowed brow. I shouldn't have doubted him. Here's how it is. Stefanko fastest lap, but race winner Naki Baslam ahead of Ben Spanky, who'll retain his championship lead from his teammate Mohammed Ibrahim, Mumbai Falcons. The Williams Esports of Stefanko and Keithley 4 and 5. Daffy Ardianza in JMX, another good performance from him. Masvilton, solid, safe performance for Safe House. Ahead of Kunze, a best result of the season for Kunze, sorry, apart from his podium, but the victory to Naki Baslam.
On commentary, Des and Ammo, and it seems to me that the Aslan brothers, they both can't have a good week at the same time. It has to be one, then it has to be the other, never together.
Yeah, and that's why they're not in the top 4 in the championship. But I have to say, Naqib's drive today was one of the most impressive we've seen this season. Very, very impressed, especially after a poor qualifying. But his pace in the race today was really, really good. And he won that race on the hard tire because he went 22 minutes with the hard tire. And his fastest lap on the hard tire was 11.1, but he was still doing 11.3s 20 minutes into that race. So that really set him up. So he only had to do 8 minutes on the medium tires. So that meant he had the pace. He didn't have to worry about the mediums running out of grip before the end of the race. And that's what won him the race. But that's my analysis. Let's speak to the man himself. Naqib, fantastic result. Second win of the season. You want to talk us through it?
I miss this feeling so much. It's been a long time coming for this season. But yeah, important was to get a clean start. We did that, made up some places. It was a bit messy first lap. Unfortunately, Nabil got taken out as well, so we had to look at that in the replay for help us in the team championships. But after that, we got into the good position, tried to work together with Tasbi. But luckily we got to pull away, and then I was really surprised at how quick the Mumbai was. I was like, wow, 4 seconds up the road already. But clearly they were on a different strategy. They were on the mediums first. So when they pitted in and we were like roughly 4 seconds about there, I knew game was on because I was confident with my pace on the hards. Just banging in the lap after lap. When we came out, I knew there was half a chance they still had to overtake them. I'm just really glad it all turned out well. I think the team deserves a good race, and finally we got it.
Yeah, it's certainly the case, and obviously we've seen your brother do well. You were sitting, what, 18 points difference between the two of you heading into this round? I think it was 18 points. You
I'm
made
not
up
sure,
some,
yeah.
Well, you made up some ground today, let's put it that way. So you must be happy, that friendly rivalry between you and your brother.
Yeah, I think that puts you probably 5th in the championship. We'll see in a while. But yeah.
But yeah, I think overall, good team strategy. Unfortunate for Nabil with the hardship that he had this round. Just none of us can get a good race, both of us, We need that, so.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said at the end of the race. Okay, congratulations, Naqib. Great to speak to you, and best of luck for the final round in 2 weeks' time, okay?
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
All the best to him, I guess.
Wow.
We have to talk about Mumbai Falcons. You said they needed a good race as a team. I'm not looking at individuals, but to finish ahead of Williams is crucial.
Absolutely, they needed to do that, they had to finish from the Williams Constructors Championship. You just said it yourself. And let's talk the guy that finished second, Vance. There you are. Tough first race, but good recovery in the second race.
Yes, thank you for having me here. Yes, already the qualifying was very frustrating because I felt I had the pace for top 3 at least, but on one of my laps a car spun and failed to clear the track, so I collected him, which was really frustrating, but things like that I guess happen. So I started from P7, and from that point I think my fate was sealed kind of in the first race. It was very difficult to make up any ground, and due to the lag, of course, it wasn't so easy, and I was playing it safe. Luckily, I managed to finish P8, and then from that point we were thinking, okay, maybe we can pull a gap with Muhammad in the second race. That's why we started on mediums. I think our pace was pretty good. Honestly, I don't think what we could have done different. It was enough for second and third, so that's it basically from our side.
Yeah, but second and third get you more points than what Williams got. They finished below you. How important is that in the grand scheme of things for the team championship, not the individuals?
Yes, but I guess that's good news that we outscored them in race 2, but they outscored us in race 1, and I think they reduced the gap to us in the team standings. So we have to be very cautious before the last race. Of course, we have to see which track we'll be racing on, but we'll fight hard, but also fair.
Okay, Ben, thank you so much for talking to us. Good luck in 2 weeks' time, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Very analytical.
Yes, but look how he's disappointed. I think he knew he had the pace. He's right. Qualifying didn't quite go for him. So this would be a disappointing day for him. But most importantly, he still leads the championship. And I think he has to not lose sight of that. You know, but yeah, the Drivers' Championship obviously is the one everyone wants to win.
Let's bring in his teammate, the other driver from Mumbai Falcons, finishing P3, Mohammed Ibrahim. Tough race, as it always is in the E1 Championship. You seem to be very much a team player today more than anything else, though.
Yeah, it was a terrible race one. So I just had to have damage limitation in race 2. You know, I could have pushed a bit harder in race 2, but I don't think we could have done much more than that.
Okay, all right. What about yourself? Did you want to push your teammate a bit more or not? Were you happy?
Honestly speaking, we both were flat out, so we couldn't push any harder. You know, we were at the limit the entire race. So.
Okay, Mohammed Ibrahim, thank you very much, sir. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time, okay?
Thank you.
Best of luck to him as well. Were they going flat out? Do you think he wanted to push? Because he just seemed to be...
I think he was pushing. I could see the last 2 laps. He looked like he was trying to get a move on Biance. Had a look at turn 4. Wasn't quite close enough. But yeah, he'll be disappointed with that because I think that's going to effectively ruin Ibrahim's chance for the championship. I think, yeah, he's going to be a little bit too far back. But obviously, we'll see the standings after the break, I guess.
Yeah, after the break we will. And as Bence asked earlier on, where are we going to be racing next for the final round? Find out in just a moment. Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are up to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. Support on our Facebook pages. Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes jumps off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Vaslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib may want to actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen split as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are up to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight.
welcome back for the final time today to the E1 Championship 2022. This is round 6. We're just wrapping things up. We'll reveal where the next race is going to be in just a moment. My name's Adnan Carruthers, alongside the race director himself, the one and only Alex Young. This is organised by Axel Sports, EGG and Astro, supported by MAN, that's the Motorsports Association of Malaysia, and Race Room. We are live, by the way, on Arena, plus also on Suka, and we're broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook. All you have to do is search for E1 Championship. We're broadcasting in Singapore via Mio Sports 2, in Vietnam on VTV Cab, Thailand on True Gaming Up, and in Indonesia via TVRI Sport. If you've missed all the action we've had today, we've literally just wrapped up the sprint race, 30 minutes of racing. Here's a quick recap with Des and Ammo.
Yeah, the reverse grid race had a fascinating start. Nabil Aslan on pole, but it was the Mumbai Falcons bearing a Ben Spanky Mohammed Ibrahim who started on the medium compound tyres, Ammo. That was a gamble that they took, and by the end of the race, it was a gamble that was worth taking.
Yeah, the alternate strategy didn't work out as they expected, because Alex told us off air that they were actually just a couple of minutes too long on those tyres, and that paid, didn't pay dividends for them. As you can see there, Kalen and Nabil involved in a bit of a kerfuffle that sent both of them out of the top 10.
Kerfuffle, Alex Young trademark, not allowed to use that word. Inigo Anton was involved in a little spin as well, as Inigo has given us a lot of entertainment. Wrong way, but Nakib forced his way into the front ahead of Mohammed Ibrahim. And Ibrahim was he was strangely taciturn today, wasn't he? He was the good team player.
A bit too tepid, if we're honest, because he really was just hanging it back, not really playing up to his normal, very aggressive instincts. But again, being the team player that he is for this season, that has boded well for Banky's championship. But what would have been if they played that strategy well? So
Nakib started on pole and would finish in first place. A good result for Nakib. Probably hit form just a little bit too late in the season. He was on the medium compounds at the end. It meant he could accelerate away. Victory for Nakib Aslam, his second win of the season. But behind them, Mumbai Falcons 2 and 3. Here is the result of today's race, that race number 2. Nakib taking it from Ben Spanky Mohammed Ibrahim. Martin Stefanko picks up 2 useful points for the fastest lap for Williams ahead of Jack Keithley. Another good performance from Daffy Ardiante. It's not just about the big boys.
Yep, indeed. If he actually joined from the start of the season, he would have actually been in good shape to be in that midfield.
Into the overall results, Nakib 4 today. Good result for him today, 47 points in all, despite not finishing in the top 5 in qualification. A 41-point day for Jack Keithley. Mumbai Falcons, though, just able to keep their edge back into the overall team championship.
Yeah, damage limitations as we are coming into the most important phase of the season here. Coming out to the final 2 races after this, these points may just be enough to actually keep them in the lead of the championship.
It is, it's fascinating.
Thanks to Des and Ammo. Those are the overall results just for today. Sorry, excuse me. We'll get to the standings in just a moment. Before that, though, it's time for the ballot. Where will the final race be in 2 weeks' time, Alex?
Do you want to take it or do I take it?
You should be taking it, the race director.
All right, so this is the last round, and let's see. Imola. We go back to Imola. We go back to Europe.
Imola.
So this is a high-tension track. This is a track, great track to finish off the season, actually. It's a sort of track where you can easily make a mistake and lose your whole race. Good for overtaking as well. Thrilling to drive as well. Fixed setup round as well. Yeah, Imola, good place to finish the season.
Oh, there was a gasp in the studio.
Yeah.
I could hear Ammo. What do you think about this? There was a reaction straight away from you, Ammo.
I'm just, astonished that it's going to be that circuit, because, of course, I like Imola. It's one of my favorite circuits ever when I race on any sim. But also the fact that it's going to be qualifying at an absolute premium, actually, because that circuit has a lot of tight corners and it is not possible to overtake unless you really force the issue. So it's going to be a very tactical race for the final round of the season, Adam.
Tactical in what sense? Because the time is running out. There's only 1 round left, Ammo.
Yep, but because it's not easy to overtake, so qualifying becomes the premium. You want to actually get that track position to not be held up like what happened to Banky when he ran to the side, ran in front of Apex Academy car. So really then, you want to have a good qualifying and stay in front because you can hold on to the lead at least for a foreseeable, for an extended period of time to hold on to that. Because Imola, there's only very few overtaking spots, like for example Rivazza, the final sector, and then the first few corners in Tamburello. Other than that, you're gonna have to force the issue. So it's going for broke for summer drivers if they had a poor qualifying.
Okay, all right. Well, are you in agreement there? Tough track?
Not really. It is going to be tough for qualifying. It is very hard to get qualifying right at this track. A lot of curves. You've got to really send it through some of these corners, and it's hard to get it just right. So I think the drivers who want to have a good weekend have to really practice a lot in qualifying. It's not something you can just rock up late and nail. And it is going to be close. You know how close this field is. So qualifying will be important. But you can overtake it. That front straight is long enough. But there's only one straight. So if you do save your battery just for that one straight, then you can defend. So where I do agree also with Ammo is it will be tactical. So how you do the pit stops, where you do the pit stops. So if you don't qualify too well, or you do well in race 1, you're at the back for race 2, or middle of race 2, you could go aggressive at the very beginning and try and make some places and do an early pit stop, or you go long. So that's where it's going to get tactical.
Yeah, the tactical battle will be crucial. It was today, you could also argue, and very costly for Mumbai Falcons. But let's take a look at the standings, the true overall standings so far.
Yeah, this is with the dropped points taken out, so the worst score taken out. This is how we stand going into the final 2 races of the season. Ben Spanky holds on to the lead, but that lead has been narrowed dramatically, just 15 points clear of of Jack Keithley. Martin Stefanko, he's just 8 points down, and just 5 points down on him is Mohammed Ibrahim. Nakib has probably left his run too late. He's in P5. Tasby out the running in P6.
And this is the team standings after that, very impressive run for Williams Esports, and that's close. That's actually just 18 points difference between Mumbai Falcons and Williams Esports. So that's about a second place worth in FIA point standings. They cannot get any better than that. So they may have actually gotten the points in that second race, but Williams Esports did the damage in that first race, Des.
And to have 6 teams over 150 points, it's a big effort by those 6 teams.
Okay, one final question for you, Alex. It is subject to change, though. I'm sure there's going to be some issues that you'll have to solve.
There are a couple protests coming through, but I don't think it will change that much.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, I want to thank you, Alex Young, the race director. Looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time. And of course, a big thanks to Des and Alma for calling all of the racing action we've had today. We're hoping you can join us in 2 weeks' time, right at the start of November. I think it's on the 2nd. It is a Wednesday as well for the final round of E1 Championship 2022, round 7. My name's Adam Carruthers. I'm going to leave you with some highlights that we've got to enjoy from Interlagos today. Until next time, bye for now.